Let me ask you a question right now. Are you building your dream, or are you breaking it? Every single day, every single choice, you're doing one or the other. You're either adding bricks to your future, or you're tearing down the walls with your own hands. Listen to me. Most people don't lose because of lack of opportunity. They lose because they break what they're trying to build. You talk about success, you pray for success, you dream about success, but your daily habits, they're breaking the very thing you say you want. This message today is not for everybody. It's for the one who's tired of playing both sides. It's for the one who knows they've been inconsistent, distracted, halfway committed. You've been almost great. You've been almost disciplined, but almost doesn't build dreams, almost breaks them. So I need you to stay with me till the end, because by the time this message is over, you're going to know exactly what side you've been on, and how to switch sides for good. Let's go. Listen to me. Every single day you wake up, you're standing at a construction site. That site is your life, your dream, your future. And every decision you make, every attitude, every action, every response, it's either laying a brick or throwing one through the window. There's no neutral ground. You are either building your dream or breaking it. See, people want to talk about destiny. They want to talk about calling. They want to talk about purpose. But they don't want to talk about choices. Destiny isn't magic, it's management. It's what you do with the minutes, the hours, the opportunities that God gives you. You can't pray for a mansion and then keep swinging a wrecking ball of laziness and excuses through the front door. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I met a young man in Chicago. He came up to me after one of my sessions, tears in his eyes, and said, "Ed, I want to change my life. I want to make my mom proud." So I asked him, "What's your plan?" He said, "I'm gonna try, but it's hard. I work late. I'm tired." I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Every time you say you're tired instead of working on your goal, you're breaking your dream. Every time you get up anyway, every time you study, grind, sacrifice, you're building it." That young man listened. He started waking up an hour earlier every morning to study before his shift. No more, "I'll do it later." He was building when others were sleeping. 4 years later, that same kid sent me a photo, cap, gown, and his mother crying in the front row. He said, "Ed, I stopped breaking my dream the day I stopped breaking my promises." You see what I'm saying? Dreams aren't destroyed overnight. They crumble slowly, one bad choice at a time, one skipped workout, one missed call, one "I'll do it tomorrow." It's the little cracks that bring the whole thing down. But the same is true on the other side. Dreams aren't built overnight either. They're built in the silence, in the sweat, in those moments when nobody's clapping for you. You're laying bricks when nobody sees it, but one day everybody will see what you built. So the next time you feel like quitting, I want you to stop and ask yourself, is this choice building my dream or breaking it? Because that's the blueprint, that's the formula, that's the secret nobody wants to tell you. Success is not built in grand gestures, it's built in daily obedience. You don't need a new dream. You need a new level of consistency. You don't need a miracle. You need to stop breaking what you're trying to build. So today, I dare you make your next move count. Build with intention, build with heart, build with discipline. Because the life you want is waiting for you to stop destroying it and start constructing it. Every choice builds or breaks. Choose to build. Let me tell you something. Family, you can't build a dream surrounded by people who are busy breaking theirs. Every builder needs a crew. Every visionary needs a team. You can't pour the foundation of greatness if the people around you keep bringing hammers of doubt, nails of negativity, and buckets of excuses. You can have the dream, the vision, the plan, but if your circle is toxic, your structure will collapse. I tell people all the time your circle is your construction crew. They're either helping you build your dream or helping you bury it. And for some of you, that's your biggest problem. It's not your potential. It's not your talent. It's your company. You've got wrecking balls disguised as friends. Let me give you a real story. A young woman came to one of my events in Atlanta. She had the voice of an angel. I'm talking real talent. But when I asked her why she wasn't pursuing music, she said, every time I talk about my dream, my friends laugh at me. They say, you're wasting your time. Nobody makes it from our neighborhood. I said, that's your problem right there. You're trying to build a skyscraper with people who only know how to build shacks. She cried, but she listened. She started spending less time with the doubters and more time with dreamers. She joined a local choir, started networking with producers, and slowly built a circle that pushed her forward instead of pulling her back. 2 years later, I get a message from her on Instagram. She's recording her second studio album. She said, I didn't change my dream. I changed my environment. Come on, somebody. You see, it's not enough to have a dream. You need people who believe in it as much as you do. You need people who will correct you when you slack, who will remind you who you are when you forget, who will show up when it's raining and still help you build. Some of y'all are frustrated because your life isn't going anywhere, but you don't realize it's not because of you. It's because you keep handing blueprints to people who can't read them. Stop expecting loyalty from people who aren't loyal to their own goals. Stop seeking validation from people who have never validated themselves. Your dream deserves a crew that's hungry, disciplined, and focused, people who are builders, not breakers. So hear me, if you're serious about your vision, you might have to work alone for a while. You might have to eat lunch by yourself, grind in silence, and rebuild your circle brick by brick. Because when you finally find those right people, that real crew, they'll lift you higher than you ever could on your own. At the end of the day, your dream's success depends not just on your effort, but on your environment. So take inventory. Who's in your circle, builders or breakers? Because your circle is your construction crew, and what you allow around you will determine what stands when the storm comes. Choose your crew wisely because your dream depends on it. Let me be real with you. You can't build a dream while you're holding on to excuses. Excuses are like termites, small, invisible, and deadly. They sneak in quietly and eat away at your foundation until everything you worked for collapses. Everybody says they want success until it's time to stop making excuses. Until it's time to stay up one more hour, to do one more rep, to study one more page. Then the excuses start sounding sweet. I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have time. Listen to me. Those words are poison. Every time you speak them, you're breaking your dream. Let me give you a story. I met a young brother from Philly. He came up to me after a keynote and said, I want to start my own clothing line, but I can't. I don't have the money. I don't have the connections. I stopped him right there. I said, hold up. You got a phone. You got Wi-Fi. Then you've got opportunity. He looked at me confused, so I told him, stop waiting for somebody to hand you a chance. Start where you are. 2 months later, he started printing shirts in his basement. No fancy setup, just determination. He sold them out of his car, did pop-up booths at parks. A year later, that same kid called me crying, saying he'd just opened his first store downtown. He said, you were right. The moment I stopped making excuses, doors started opening. Family, excuses don't just delay your dream, they destroy it. They trick you into believing that tomorrow will give you another shot. But tomorrow isn't promised. Every excuse is a brick you throw through the window of your own future. I need you to understand something. God didn't design you to be average. He gave you the tools, the strength, the gifts, but he also gave you responsibility. You've got to move even when the path isn't clear. You've got to act even when you don't feel ready. Some of you are sitting on $1,000,000 ideas that you keep breaking with 10-cent excuses. You keep saying, I'm waiting for the right time. Let me help you. The right time is right now. If you wait for perfect conditions, you'll die waiting. Builders don't wait for sunshine, they build in the rain. I remember my own journey, sleeping in abandoned buildings, no food, no money. I could have made every excuse to quit, but excuses don't pay bills, excuses don't get degrees, excuses don't change lives. I decided to build anyway, and that decision changed everything. So I'm challenging you today, no more blaming your parents, your boss, your past. You can't fix what you won't face. Trade your excuses for effort, your complaints for consistency. Because at the end of the day, you can have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. So the next time you feel that excuse rising up in your throat, ask yourself, am I building my dream right now or breaking it? Then get back to work. 100 points, listen to me. Motivation is cute, but discipline is power. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when everything in you wants to stop. Motivation is a spark, discipline is the engine. You can't build a dream with feelings, you build it with follow-through. Everybody loves to feel motivated. You watch a video, hear a quote, get fired up for 5 minutes, and then what? The moment life hits you, the feeling disappears. You can't live off moments, you've got to live off methods. Discipline is the difference between people who dream and people who finish. Let me tell you a story. When I was in college trying to get my degree after dropping out of high school, people used to ask me all the time, "Et, how do you stay motivated?" I told them the truth, I don't. There were days I woke up angry, days I didn't feel like reading another chapter, days I didn't feel like showing up. But I made a decision. I'm going to stay loyal to my purpose, not my emotions, and that's where most of y'all lose. You're loyal to how you feel, not to what you said you were going to do. You said you wanted to be great, but the moment it got hard, you ghosted your grind. Let me give you another example, a young athlete I coached. Kid had raw talent, fast, strong, gifted, but his problem, he only trained when he felt like it. He'd miss practices, skip workouts, sleep through alarms. One day I told him, "Son, talent might get you noticed, but discipline keeps you there." He didn't listen. The next season, he lost his spot to a kid with half his ability but double his consistency. That's the price of motivation without discipline. You burn bright for a moment and then fade out. Later, that same athlete came back to me humbled. He said, "Coach, I finally get it. Motivation didn't build champions. Discipline did." Now he's back on track, training daily and mentoring others. He stopped chasing feelings and started chasing focus. Listen, I don't care if it's school, business, fitness, or relationships. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll never start. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. You might not control your emotions, but you control your actions. You want to know why some people win? Because they show up every single day, rain, snow, tired, sick, they show up. And when they don't feel inspired, they still build. That's discipline. You can't build your dream on motivation. It's too temporary. You need something stronger. You need to make it a lifestyle. So stop asking for motivation. Start building your muscle of consistency. Because when motivation fades, and it will, discipline will keep you standing. That's how you win. That's how you build. Discipline builds what motivation can't. Let me say this loud and clear, pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's the fire that forges the dream. You can't build anything worth keeping without going through something that hurts. Pain is the price of purpose. Everybody wants the glory, but nobody wants the grind. Everybody prays for the blessing, but runs from the breaking. But hear me, the breaking is the blessing, because pain exposes who you really are. When life squeezes you, what's inside you comes out. When I was homeless, sleeping in abandoned buildings, no food, no bed, no comfort, that pain became my university. I learned more in those dark nights than I ever did in a classroom. You know what pain taught me. It taught me how to fight for myself. It taught me how to depend on God when nobody else believed in me. It showed me that comfort never creates greatness, struggle does. There was a young woman I once met after a speech in Detroit. She came up to me in tears. She said, "Et, I lost my job, my house, and my relationship all in 1 year. I feel like God forgot me." I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "He didn't forget you. He's forming you. See, sometimes the pain you're feeling is not punishment, it's preparation. You're not being destroyed, you're being developed." She took that to heart. She started rebuilding, small business, side hustle, night classes. 2 years later, she emailed me, "Et, that pain birthed my purpose. I own a design company now. I hire women who've been through what I went through." Come on, somebody, that's what pain does. It refines you. It strips away the weak version of you so the strong one can rise. But you've got to stop seeing pain as something to avoid. You've got to start seeing it as something to embrace. When an athlete trains, they expect soreness. When a musician practices, their fingers bleed. When an entrepreneur hustles, they lose sleep. That's the cost of greatness. You can't build a dream while avoiding pain, and I know it hurts, it's heavy, it's lonely sometimes. But remember, pressure doesn't break diamonds, it creates them. So stop asking God to take away the pressure and start asking Him to make you stronger under it. Some of you right now are in a season of pain, heartbreak, loss, failure, rejection. But what if I told you that this very pain is the ingredient God is using to shape your destiny? What if the struggle you're in is the tool carving out the best version of you? Don't quit in the middle of the process. Don't give up while it still hurts, because pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. So the next time you want to give up, remind yourself, this pain isn't here to stop me. It's here to strengthen me. Because builders don't run from pain, they rise through it. Everybody wants to live their dream, but not everybody wants to work for it every single day. Dreams don't come to people who wish, they come to people who work. Let me be real with you, you can't pray for a dream on Sunday and sleep on it Monday. You can't post motivation quotes and not move your feet. You say you want the life, the car, the freedom, the business, the impact, then show me your routine. Because dreams don't respond to desire, they respond to discipline. I remember when I first started doing motivational speaking. I didn't have a platform, no camera crew, no audience, just me, a borrowed mic, and a heart full of fire. I spoke at schools for free, sometimes to 5 kids sitting in the front row, sometimes to empty seats. And every time I gave it everything I had, like it was the Super Bowl. You see, consistency is what separates dreamers from doers. The doers get up every single morning and put in the reps, even when the likes don't come, even when nobody's watching, even when it looks like nothing's changing, they stay at it. Because they understand this truth, you don't get results by what you do occasionally, you get results by what you do daily. Let me tell you about a young man I coached from Chicago. He wanted to become a fitness trainer. He said, I've been posting videos for 6 months and nobody's watching. I feel like quitting." I told him, "Bro, 6 months. You're barely in warm-up mode. You can't plant a seed on Monday and expect a forest on Friday." He took that to heart. Every day he posted, trained, studied, learned. After 2 years, not 2 weeks, 2 years of daily grind, his content started blowing up. Today, he's got his own brand, sponsors, and he trains pro athletes. And he told me, you were right. The dream didn't work until I worked daily. That's the principle. Daily work builds momentum. Every day you show up, you're laying bricks. Some days it feels like nothing's happening, but keep building. Because one day, those invisible bricks turn into visible results. You think Michael Jordan became great because he wanted to. No, he practiced harder than anyone. You think Steve Jobs built Apple because he was lucky? No, he worked 16-hour days when no one believed in his vision. The greats weren't just talented, they were relentless. So hear me, if you want to live your dream, you've got to clock in every day. Even on the days you don't feel like it. Because the dream doesn't care about your mood, it cares about your movement. The grind doesn't lie, it will give you exactly what you've earned. So from this day forward, make this your mindset. No off days, no excuses, no waiting. You don't need permission, you need consistency. You don't need luck, you need labor, because your dream won't work until you do. 100 points family, hear me. You are either building your dream or breaking it. There's no in between. You can't talk about greatness and live average. You can't post about goals and sleep through your purpose. If you want your dream to stand, you've got to build every single day brick by brick. Choice by choice, moment by moment. This is your time. This is your moment to pick up the tools, rebuild the pieces, and protect what God put in your heart. You've got the vision, you've got the fire, now get to work. Because if you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to build theirs. So I'll ask you one last time, are you building your dream or are you breaking it? The choice is yours. 100 points.